half an Aston Martin Vanquish is better than no Vanquish at all. Welcome to Lot 76 Cars. My name is Simon and today we're at the Bicester Scramble and we've got a show for you today. We've got the 25th anniversary of the Vanquish and there's quite a collection of those behind us. We've got the 60th anniversary of the Miuras and some of those to show you, and plenty of other classics and supercars. So keep watching to see them. Celebrating 60 years of the Miura is this little collection. I think each one of them probably worth the best part of a couple of £1 million, with the eyelashes on the front. These are iconic looking cars, all factory colours. Even this Verdi car in the middle, developed originally as the basis of a racing car. Ferruccio Lamborghini forbid his team for developing a racing car, but did allow them to develop this mid-engine road car. So it is mid-engined. I think the first mid-engine road car ever. I'm sure somebody will correct me if I'm wrong on that one, but it's got a transverse V12, so inspired by the Mini, it's got a transverse V12 engine. And because the engine, the block itself is apparently quite small, the rear lights here are from a Fiat 850 coupe, but Gandini, who did the styling, actually added the plate, the chrome plate, to disguise them around the outside. This is a later SV car, the later development, more powerful, and I think you might have lost some of the styling features of the early cars. Absolutely epic. The original styling the project was done by Giugiaro. He started the project, but it was Gandini that took the work on after Giugiaro left Bertoni. And didn't he do a job? Obviously fascinated with these ever since I saw them in the Italian job. Well, who wouldn't be? And this is a 71 SV, I think ran from 66 to 72, replaced by the Countach. And I make no apologies for spending so much time looking at these. Just drink that in. Are they not gorgeous or what? This pretty little 105 series coupe in giallo ochre is original UK car. It's a step-nose car. That's the step in the front that the early cars had before it was styled out on the later ones. It's been fitted with a 1750cc engine. It's had a few modifications. I don't know what you make of those. I still think it's a very pretty looking coupe. And I do like the fact it's an original UK car. I think obviously some changes, some significant changes at the back with the rear lights there. What do you make of that one? I don't know what to think, to be honest with you. I still think it looks a pretty little car, to be honest. If you've got over £2 million to spend, then why not get Singer to build you one of their DLS turbos? They're 911 creations with over 700 horsepower. Absolutely incredible. I don't know what you think to these cars. They are very, very well done. But I mean, just let's look at that rear spoiler. I mean, look how much it sticks out from the car. It adds quite a bit of extra length to the car. The wheels are, what are they, 22s? Something like that. Goodness, it's been done extremely well. Not to everybody's taste, I must admit. But if you've got the money and you want something different, maybe that's the 911 for you, maybe. So this is the restomod Lotus Esprit, using I think a later car as a base, but not the Stevens cars. This has been completely re-engineered, built in extremely limited numbers. What do you think about the styling? I think they've actually stayed pretty true to the concept. I mean, we've got some, we can just have a look. It's Encore who are doing this. They've done a lovely job. They've properly retrimmed this inside. I mean, if you think about Lotus cars of this period, certainly the durability of the interiors. Encore tread plates, beautiful carbon fibre touches. This is an absolutely very, very well done restomod. What do you think to that? Let's try and get that fully into shot. A lot of people around this car, no surprise really. They only built 99, or some will say 100, of these Gordon-Keebles. – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – logo of the Ghibli. It's a very high survival rate. Well, it shows there's two here today at Vista. Beautiful American engine coupes. Company had a full order bank, but still managed to go out of business. The supplier of steering boxes, I think, was on strike, and they couldn't actually produce all the cars they had the orders for. And unfortunately, the company didn't survive. What a shame. So probably one of the fastest Jaguar road cars ever is the Project 8, based on the XE, left-hand drive only due to the complications of re-engineering right-hand drive with a 5-litre engine. Never envisaged. Some of the cars had a touring pack which took away the rear spoiler. So that's what the CEO wanted for his own car. He didn't necessarily want the huge rear spoiler on it. These are super rare. I'm not sure what the final tally was in terms of production, but a very, very capable car. And one of these is owned by Harry Metcalf. I think he's got a purple one, his own bespoke colour. Now, apparently this Ferrari 330 America could be for sale very soon on Bring a Trailer, which I guess is the equivalent of the US one. One of 50 examples delivered, requiring a full restoration. It doesn't look like a bad place to start in terms of rot. It's certainly a lovely looking car. I can imagine the restoration cost, labour alone, would be absolutely horrific. But very beautiful looking car, isn't it? So what makes this Citroen GS very, very special? It's a bi-rotor car, one of 847 bi-rotor cars produced. An absolute disaster for Citroen, commercial disaster for the guys, and a lot of them, I believe, were bought back and scrapped by Citroen themselves. Now, there's not much to signify this is a bi-rotor car, so we're going to have a walk around. Beautiful interior. I'm not sure whether this one's open. Oh, it is open. Let's have a look, shall we? Well, I have to, don't I? I'll be careful in there. These are very old plastics. It's got that old car smell. Again, most people would walk past this. Obviously, we've got the controls for the hydropneumatic suspension. We've got the badge to denote there that it is a bi-rotor car. But there's very little else. I think there's one badge on the outside of the car, and we're just going to have a walk around and see if we can show you that, just to prove it, if nothing else. Oh, there we go on the back. Ooh. So, bi-rotor, a super rare car. Get that in shot correctly. And it looks like that one could be for sale pretty soon. So absolutely essential equipment for bank robbers. Launched in '65, was the transit van, and didn't it change things? This is one that was owned by a company some people might remember called GEC Plessy, and it's probably one, well, it's a C-plater, so it is one of the very early ones. It says something about Bicester that's attracting more attention than the 3 Lamborghini Miuras. But goodness, don't we always remember these as street furniture? And they're just all of them gone. Now, if you're looking for rare, hopefully this ticks the box. It is a Mazda MX-3. Got the later Mazda badging on. Very small, I think a 1.8 V6 or something like that. Tiny engine, but very smooth. A real left field choice back in the day. A pretty little coupe. Relatively low survival rates because they didn't actually sell that many. And I think it may well have been an original UK car. Goodness, you're not going to see too many of those. Certainly not in that condition, untouched and completely unmodified. And doesn't it look a treat? There's always some special cars on the lawn outside one of the main buildings, and this is a TR8 rally car. Got the Lombard RAC rally decals on the side and the British Airways livery. Absolute treat, driven by Tony Pond back in the day. Goodness, I remember those, and I adore them, I must admit. What do you guys think? So John Surtees was the only driver or rider to win championships both on 2 wheels and on 4 wheels. And during his time with Ferrari, he drove this car, the 330 GT. I've seen this car once before. You might have seen it from Retro Rides last year, I think. It's been totally unrestored to actually preserve the originality, which is an interesting approach, because the temptation with any Ferrari would be go to the nth degree. So it's obviously in very sound mechanical order, but not necessarily the best in terms of paintwork, I think you would agree, but the originality and the fact that John Surtees allegedly drove this back to the factory from the UK, that's got to be a hell of a provenance, hasn't it? What do you think? Would you paint it or would you keep it original? So this is also a pretty rare car. It's an ISO Griffo. So the company that invented the Isetta, I'm not sure whether they used the money from the sale of or license of the Isetta design, the little cabin scooters, to develop this, but this is the Griffo, and it is in resplendent condition, got the Bertone badges there, not built in huge numbers, that well-trodden path of Italian designing with an American engine delivered us something like this, a truly muscle car in a very, very attractive package. Goodness, doesn't that look a treat? Drink that one in. So I hope you've enjoyed the video so far from the Bicester Scramble. Plenty more cars to come, so please stick with the video. If you have liked the video so far, I'd be grateful if you would subscribe, and also if you give the video a hype, it'll make sure that YouTube do recommend it to more people. And without further ado, on with the show. Probably one of the rarest cars here with a great story, bought by the owner's dad Ted in 1977. The owner remembers actually picking it up when he was 12 years old, when he collected it from Trinity Motors in Leicester. And this is a keeper. It's in beautiful, beautiful order. Yes, it's had some restoration. Like many of the Fiats of this period, they just simply don't survive. It says something when there's 3 Miuras here and there's 1 Fiat 128, doesn't it? But that said, lovely to see it here. For this beauty is a Lotus Elite. I believe these were a monocoque, but a glass fibre monocoque. Could be wrong, so stand corrected if somebody wants to tell me that. Somebody did correct me on where the handles came. I think they came from a comma van or something like that. It is a bit sad that I know that, but thanks whoever told me that. You can tell how low the car is to the ground, so look how much the suspension turrets in the back poke out into the cabin area. Very, very pretty car, and quite successful for Lotus at the time. Lightweight but relatively strong. And a pre-facelift GT Turbo. Loving the yellow fog lamps. Well, if you've got fog lamps, you've got to colour them yellow if they're not yellow already. Should be the law. Beautiful condition, this one in black. So many of these just got ragged to death, but this one seemed to survive well, doesn't it? Got that original body kit, nobody's painted it to suit. It's also got the original wheels on there. Look at those diminutive alloys that the early cars had. Oh, that's incredible, isn't it? So 2 weeks on the trot, I've seen a Maserati Khamsin. One was for sale last week. This one is not, by the look of it. That incredible styling at the back, that sharp, how it comes to a point at the back of the car. Those quad pipes. I'm not sure whether that hatch, I mean, the hatch may open. Some of these hatches are a bit deceiving for ventilation. You can open them from the driver's seat. But again, a car that you really need probably to see in profile just to get an appreciation of how sharp it actually looks. I bet that tree's in the way. Oh no, it's not. There you go. What do you think to that? Apparently only a couple of hundred of these Kylamis were produced. I think a 4.2 and a 4.9 litre engine. This one is an officially sold UK car. Beautiful Grand Tourist, hideously expensive back in the day, so wouldn't have found too many homes in the UK. Sold by Maserati, is it Bill McGrath? Do they still exist? I don't know, probably they do. Quite an impressive car. Very that square styling of the sort of late 70s and early 80s. Kyalami, I think named after, what's that, the South African racing circuit. Absolutely glorious colour, isn't it, to me? Not a colour you see. Let's try and get it in profile there, because you can see it better. If I can avoid falling down, you can probably see it a bit better in profile. So the BMW 328 is 90 years old, a design that's 90 years. They only produced 464 of these apparently, and I did have to check the data card for that one. I didn't know that one. It's got the legendary, I think it's the 80 horsepower straight six, 2 litre straight six engine. Lots of class wins on things like the Miglia Miglia in a streamlined version of this car. Absolutely epic that this design is so achingly beautiful, even at 90 years old. Subsequently, Fraser and Nash, I think, had the rights to these cars, and then I think they'd passed the rights on to Bristol, but I could be wrong. I can hear you asking for more affordable cars, so how about this Mercedes AMG G63 Pro with just 604 horsepower, but 197 mile an hour top speed, but yours for under £180,000. Who says we don't do accessible cars on the channel? So this 356 Speedster was ordered by a customer in New York in, I think, 1954. It was one of the first batch of 40 cars that were delivered to the US. Suffered a catastrophic engine failure very early in life, so it's not quite a matching numbers car, but it had an engine replacement very early on. And then subsequently took part, I think, in 54 in the first parade of Porsches through New York. That was a sight to see, wasn't it? And what makes it unusual is obviously to see one with this hardtop arrangement. I have never seen that before, to be honest with you. I must admit, and I've seen a few 356s. You can see why people rave about these. They are a very beautiful looking car, aren't they? The origin of Porsche. And with more than a hint of Aston Martin DBS from some angles, here's this Ghibli. This is when the Ghibli name was applied to absolutely epic Grand Tourers. I'm not sure whether styling and assembly was by Gear. This one's beautiful. It's been at Salon Privy. It was an entrant in 2021. You don't get in there if your car needs a teacup, let's put it that way. Goodness, there's quite a bit of space in the back with the seats down, isn't there? Can you see that? Let's try and get that one in profile as well. We'll step back without trying to fall over, if we can. Oh, yeah, we just about managed that. So this DB2 has lived a life. It's owned by another YouTuber, Shed Racing, so check out the Shed Racing channel. And it was Mike Hawthorne's girlfriend's father's car. Yeah, really. This one has not been restored at all. It was an original UK car. There's a concourse plaque. It won a concourse in 1952 here at Bicester, bizarrely. Went to America, came back, and is actually being used. I saw one of these for sale recently, in fact only last week at Bonham's, didn't sell. Inspired by the Le Mans cars with a low frontal area, this one is a very recognisable style in one of the early cars from the David Brown period. Absolutely fabulous to see that car, and I'll try and show you the plaque on the inside because I know the door's open, and we'll just maybe Mike Hawthorne sat in here, you never know. And there's the plaque to prove it was at a concourse event in 1952. Oh, I wasn't even around, so what would I know? Absolutely incredible. Used, not a concourse car by any stretch of the imagination, but the main thing is it is very, very, very usable. Daytona convertible. So many of these will have seen one of these on Miami Vice back in the day. It wasn't, I have to disappoint you. I think it was a kit car based on a Corvette, but this looks to be a pretty original right-hand drive car. Whether these were converted to convertibles or modified, I don't know, but I suspect not. And I suspect we're looking at an awful lot of money with these cars. The earlier plexiglass cars have a front glass over the lights, whereas this has got the later pop-up lights. So it's scarcely believable that they're celebrating 25 years of the Vanquish, which debuted at the 2001 Geneva Motor Show. Ian Callum's design, which famously starred in the Bond movie. I think it was Die Another Day or something like this. 5.9 litre. A lot of these were equipped with the, I think it's a semi-automatic gearbox. And I think there is a later conversion to a manual. And in fact, Callum has actually redesigned this car with a limited run and a huge price tag. Some styling changes on the car, and the conversion, if you want, to a manual gearbox. Absolutely stunning looking cars. I can see cars from Netherlands also in here, as well as all the UK cars. Some beautiful colours here. This is probably the biggest gathering of Vanquishers I think I've ever seen. Absolutely fantastic, isn't it? So you don't often see one of these at Bicester Scramble, but it's And an Isuzu Trooper now was duty base spec. We're not quite sure, the owner's not quite sure either. But this one has led a life. It was used by a garage. It's been recommissioned and it's back on the road now. What a fabulous car. You just simply don't see them, do you? There's the odd import. Is it Bighorn they were called in some other markets? It says a lot about this event that you can turn up in your weather-worn Toyota 1200 Coupe SL and quite rightfully have a very deserved place in the infield at Bicester Heritage at the Scramble. That's great to see that here, isn't it? So we've got Blackpool's finest, a TVR Tuscan, and next to that we've got a racing Puma. So this one was built by Tickford on behalf of Ford. I think homologated, might have been homologated for rallying. They could not sell these new. The archers have been stitched on by Tickford. Got a very special interior on this one. Very hard riding. I've been in one. It is true. Starting to get pretty rare these days and starting to get worth a reasonable amount of money. And Pumas, I can find a lot of time for the Puma Coupe. So the key part of this car, as I've just said to one other show attendee, is this. It's the 832 version of the Thema. Sold, I think sold only in left-hand drive, hideously expensive because of the Ferrari engine. Absolute madness, but goodness, we're so glad they did it. The spoiler's not, I don't think it's a deployable spoiler, it's a fixed spoiler. Incredibly expensive, only performance-wise not that far off, I think, the turbo version of the Thema. Didn't sell, but obviously its rareness is what makes it so collectible these days. That one's beautiful. Probably in some ways one of the prettiest of the Type 4 cars, I reckon. So if you want something more modern than a Miura, how about a Diablo 6-litre VT? It needs all of those air intakes to get that cooling into the back of that car, doesn't it? It's that carbon fibre spoiler at the back. Goodness. That's proper supercar territory, isn't it? One of those. I do love the colour on that one. What do you think to that? You have to admire the beauty of Lancia in its pre-Fiat days. This is a 1954 4th Series Aurelia Coupe. Number 7th off the production line, or within the first 7 cars it was produced. An original UK car, right-hand drive, sold in South London, and it survived all of this time. And goodness, I'm glad to see that, because I think that is incredibly pretty. That fastback styling, that relatively narrow track, isn't it a thing of beauty? So this is the very pretty 205, that's clear, but this is far rarer than a GTI. It's the steel-wheeled XS model, the sort of junior hot hatch, the insurance-friendly one back in the day. This one is for sale at the moment. It is in splendid condition, I have to say, and that's probably the one I would choose. What do you think to that? The original one with the plastic grey plate between the rear lights rather than the reflector. I think, quite honestly, that looks brilliant to me. What do you guys think? Is that the sort of thing you like on the channel? So this is quite a late Alfetta GTV. Got some modifications, not sure what you think about the mods and the vents in the bonnet and so on. It's a very pretty looking car, right-hand drive car, may well have been a UK car at some stage as well. In great order, loses the bumpers. What do you think about modified classic cars, subtle modifications like that? Is that something you approve or not? I'd be interested to know, because occasionally you do get the chance to film these, so there you go. When somebody goes to the trouble of recreating the McRae and Grist era of Focus rally cars, you've just got to film it, haven't you, really? I mean, somebody's done an absolutely epic recreation. Apparently, looking at some of the articles, attention to detail to get the authenticity has been incredible, and it's even got a great plate on it as well, hasn't it? V5 Ford Motor Company, I guess. So Daimler Dart, or SP250 as it's officially called, couldn't call it the Dart. The last car produced by Daimler while still owned by BSA, Birmingham Small Arms, and this is one of 15 cars supplied to the Metropolitan Police. So chasing the baddies in London before the days of high performance saloon cars was the job of these SP250 Daimlers. Different final drive on these to give it a bit more acceleration, alternator rather than a dynamo apparently. And as I say, they saw service with the police. Apparently Quentin Wilson had one of these that he returned to police specification, and this one is sort of unrestored. It's used, owned by the member of the Historic and Classic Vehicles Alliance, and you will see it at the odd show around the UK. Goodness, what a history on that one. Chasing baddies and now a show at Bicester. So this 1978 Rolls-Royce Corniche is a bit special because it's re-engineered by a company called Halcyon. I think it's got coilovers, change suspension settings. They've done it in such a sympathetic way that probably apart from the colour, it is difficult to spot what they've done. They've obviously put their mark on the bottom of the front wing. This one is, I think they've got quite a number of clients lining up to buy these. They've got their own mark in the middle. You've got the chassis plate, or you've got the plate denoting it's been re-engineered and rebuilt by Halcyon. I don't know what you make of the colour, what do you think? But as resto mods go, that does certainly stand out, doesn't it? You'd certainly make an entrance with that one. You can see that in Hollywood. And to be honest with you, the Alvis at the side of it doesn't look too bad either, does it? Alvis, what's that, TD21? Let's have a look. I don't think this is a Halcyon car as well. Yeah, it is a TD21. Thankfully I got that one right. Series 1 from 1961. Another convertible. Which one would get your vote? Put that in the comments, please. Both of them appealing in very different ways. So there's Miura Rare and the Seat Ibiza Rare. So I think this might have been just before the Porsche ownership period of Seat. Developed and engineered by Porsche. They made a lot of play about the fact that it was system Porsche engineering. Look how the wheels are really pushed out the wheelbase. Very, very short front and rear overhangs on those cars. I think it was originally, might have been a Giugiaro styling proposal for a Mark II Golf. Possibly, correct me if I'm wrong on that one. Real festival of the unexceptional territory, that one, isn't it? What a car. Rare as hen's teeth. It must be pretty hard to understand what impact the Gullwing Mercedes made when it was launched, I think in the 50s. Absolutely beautiful features to this car. This one is, as many of these are, in super condition. You seldom see a ratty one. It's got the bespoke luggage in the back. It's got obviously the Gullwing doors and the vent in there into the back. Forget about air conditioning, but doesn't that look an absolutely automotive masterpiece? Almost, I would say, almost a work of art. Goodness, I could stand and stare at that all day. I won't, but forgive me if we linger on that one because I think it's fantastic. So we've got supercars, and we've also got cars like this which are super in a different way. It's an 1800 Vauxhall Forenza based on the Viva platform, but in that very pretty coupe profile. Often they're getting pretty thin on the ground. Quite a stylish little coupe, isn't it, really? I must confess, like this, I do like this Tegra Green E9 BMW CSL. Lightweight panels on this one, made for, homologated for touring cars. This one's an ex-South African car. Kermit might have something to say about it, but it's been given a golden ticket to be displayed here, and quite honestly, it's beautiful. The owners told me spent an awful lot of time, even though it came from South Africa and it was rust-free. Very original. It's got the original specification, I think Pirelli tyres on there. That looks a treat, doesn't it? Oh, this looks a treat, doesn't it? It's a Nova. In actual fact, this one's an Opel, so it's not a Vauxhall, and it's a GSI with the OZ wheels on it. Great to see these being used. Left-hand drive, not sure where it's come from, probably one of the Mediterranean markets. It sounds sweet enough, doesn't it? What do you think to that? I don't apologise for including an Audi A8 D2 in with another co-YouTube conspirator. We own the D1, the V8 successor to this, all aluminium. The gearboxes are a bit of a weak point. This is why so few of them survive. But hasn't that stood the test of time? What would that be, a 1998 car or something like that? I love those in profile. A 2.8 one of those, maybe just a two-wheel drive. Yeah, count me in. What do you think to that? A Suzuki Whiz Kid. Some of the style of this was in the more recent Ignis model. You simply don't see these. Matt on Furious Driving's got one. They have all rusted away, rear-engined. This one's in absolutely epic condition. I've seen very few of these come up for sale. We'll try and get a shot inside, unless I don't get run over here, simply because the owner's left the door open. Recipient, quite rightly, of a golden ticket. And there you go, there's the inside, as simple as you like. Simple dashboard, radio handle located over the passenger side. What a fantastic little car, isn't it? I absolutely love those. What do you think to that one, eh? Just 18 coupes and 16 convertible Bentley Bacalars were actually made using, I think, the 6-litre W12 engine. This is a seriously expensive car, well over £2 million. I think they were changing hands for. Guaranteed absolute exclusivity. This is a left-hand drive car, but obviously with the UK plates on it. I'm not sure what you think of the colour scheme. This, I guess you can have what you want when you're paying that sort of money, can't you, really? Some lovely detail features. I do like that orange on the wheels. I mean, as you'd expect, beautiful quality interior sort of part. Looks like Alcantara there. And look how that orange stripe, that theme runs through the whole interior. Can you see that? Let's just take you in there close. Again, Bentley, this is 00 of 00, so possibly it is a factory car that's been retained by Bentley. Wow. Well, it certainly stands out, and to be honest with you, I think that's one Bentley styling-wise that I could get right behind, because I think that is a really elegant looking and distinctive convertible. What do you think? There is very little to dislike with an E12 5 Series or any 5 Series, but this 535i from what, 1980? Yeah, I do like the wiper moment on the lights. Probably more effective than the washers, to be honest with you. Factory sunroof, right-hand drive car, maybe an original UK car. I'm loving the colour of that car. Goodness. It's a good job it's not for sale. I might be putting my hand up for something like that. So thanks again for joining me on Lot 76 cars from the second Bicester Scramble of 2026. What a fabulous collection of cars we've seen today. Hope you've enjoyed seeing the Miuras and the Aston Martin Vanquishes and many more. Please like, share and subscribe. Don't forget to click on notifications to be informed of my next video. And as always, thanks for watching.